Are you struggling with marketing reporting? Well, there's a different way. Join Barilla, Carter's, and IKEA in improving your marketing reporting by using Adverity. Whether you're working across 10 or 100 different marketing channels, you can effortlessly manage all your marketing performance data in a single location to make reporting as easy as clicking a button. Remove the stress of reporting and book a demo at adverity.com.
Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, the editor-in-chief of Total Retail, and I'm really excited to be joined on today's episode by Ashley Hubka, who is the Senior Vice President and General Manager of Walmart Business. Ashley and I are going to talk about some exciting news that has come out of the Walmart Business in the last couple of weeks and some of the exciting initiatives that they have planned. So, Ashley, I want to take the opportunity to thank you and welcome you to the show.
Joe, it's great to be here. Thanks for the time.
So I'd love to get started by having you give a little bit of an overview of Walmart Business and how it fits into the overall retail organization. Obviously, everyone knows Walmart. Walmart Business, they might not be as familiar with. So let's start there.
Great. It's a great place to start. Walmart has a long history of helping organizations, businesses, nonprofits, both in our stores and online, and particularly offering them a broad assortment at everyday low pricing. A couple years ago, we started looking at the opportunity to really serve them in a more concerted way that recognized the distinct needs they have in both how they buy and what they buy. And that early thinking was the genesis of Walmart Business. We have developed a specific offering and site that is tailored to meet those needs while leveraging the very best of Walmart. So in particular, we help organizations save money and simplify their purchasing, stay in stock and in control, and create, I'd say, efficiencies to operate and grow. And we do that by leveraging everything we can from Walmart and then building features and functionality and benefits that are, as I said, specific to what organizations need and what we've heard from them.
So that's a great overview. One quick follow-up on that, Ashley. So obviously online, it might be, I feel like, a little bit easier to identify some of those small business shoppers. When they're going into Walmart's brick and mortar locations, how do you kind of identify and know that that small business shopper exists? Maybe it's the feedback you're getting from your associates, and they're talking with the shopper. Tell us a little bit about that within your physical locations, particularly.
Well, I think the first way we hear it is exactly what you said. It's from our associates, it's from our store managers. So we have stores in, 4,700 communities around the United States, and associates, but especially store managers, are really plugged in those communities. So they know who's coming in to do a pickup delivery and who might have a couple of carts worth of items that they needed for a business or for an event. And they're part of the Chamber of Commerce. They're engaged. So really through them is the first way that we would have that visibility. A second way is that we see organizations who are eligible for it purchasing tax exempt in our stores. And that's another, really important role that we play, but also a really strong signal that we're obviously serving an organization, a nonprofit, or another entity that's eligible for that tax exempt purchasing.
Yeah, that's a great identifier. So you've given us a little bit of overview of the Walmart business unit. I'd love to learn a little bit more about yourself personally. Tell us a little bit about your role within Walmart business, kind of a little bit about your journey to joining Walmart.
Today, as the SVP and General Manager for Walmart Business, I lead the strategy and day-to-day operations of this effort. I've been doing this for a couple of years, but before that, and my first role with Walmart was leading enterprise strategy, M&A, and strategic partnerships. And that's how I actually joined Walmart in 2017. And prior to that, I'd been in e-com and consulting earlier in my career.
So as we kind of set up this conversation about the local business and how Walmart is serving those shoppers, I think it probably would be helpful to kind of go back to the genesis of the problem, or at least the problem that you're trying to solve for. And can you talk a little bit about what would be some of the challenges that local businesses experience wherever they may shop? You could start with what they were experiencing at Walmart, but talk about kind of those overarching challenges for local business shoppers?
Yeah, I will pick up with a couple things I'd mentioned, Joe. So one, we've talked to organizations, thousands of organizations of different sizes in different industries, and they do have some almost universal needs. They want to save money and simplify their business purchasing. So they have multiple people purchasing. They may be doing that online and in store, having visibility to all of their spend across their organization and having controls on that spend is important to them. They also want to stay in stock, right? Do they have the right amount of the products they need in the right place at the right time? And often we heard from businesses that they reordered when somebody noticed they were out of stock in the break room. And that really didn't, that meant they had a gap and they weren't in stock in the way that they needed to be. And they didn't have that continuity and that confidence. And then the third is they really wanted to create efficiencies to operate and grow. So this might be anything from ensuring that they had a recurring subscription. It might be having the ability for their team to collaborate on, here's the list of things we need to buy. It might be having services that accompanied products to make sure that they could get the greatest use out of the things they had bought. So we heard that across the board, and those were the challenges that we had in mind as we started to build Walmart Business.
And I mentioned at the outset of the episode, we're going to talk about some exciting news from Walmart business that are kind of going to address some of those challenges. You mentioned cost for sure, inventory management, making sure they're in stock at all times, and then that efficiency around the processing of resupplying. With that in mind, having identified some of those challenges, can you talk a little bit about what you've done at Walmart Business to kind of address those challenges for your local business customers?
We, as I said, we took the very best of Walmart. So when you think about Walmart and the capabilities and assets we've developed over the decades, there were some things that were clearly applicable to organizations, businesses, nonprofits. So our broad assortment and our everyday low price model, our unmatched operating scale, and how do we bring that to serve and support organizations, our proximity to the US population. So, Joe, you probably know this statistic, but maybe not all of your listeners do, which is that Walmart is within 10 miles of 90% of the US population. So really available where people and where organizations need them most. And then we have e-commerce, fulfillment, and delivery technology. So we set out to leverage all of that and then to build what needed to be unique for businesses in terms of features and enhancements that could help them succeed. So we thought about, first of all, how do we help them save time? We make operational tasks easier so they can get back to business, back to their mission, back to their operations. So our organizations, our customers can shop anywhere, online or in the app. And then given our omni capabilities, they can get shipping, delivery, or pickup at a store, and as soon as same day, right? As soon as within a couple of hours. So it's a very proximate, very convenient offering. And then in terms of saving money, we really want to help organizations, small and medium-sized businesses, make every dollar go further. And so that's true both for businesses, it's also true for nonprofits who have donor dollars that they are looking to maximize. For that, EDLP is obviously the foundation of all of it, but we also offer supplier offered or supplier funded rewards that our organizations can access. And then we also save them hassle. So operations can be streamlined and they can increase their productivity. One of the most fundamental pieces there is the account is at the level of the organization. So you have a multi-user account with admin roles, buyer roles, the ability for everybody to, the admin to look across that and see the spending of all the buyers, to invite additional people to the account. So they manage who purchases and how on behalf of their organization. We have subscription items so they can get that automatic renewal or delivery. We have service offerings that I mentioned where if you bought a laptop, you could also get a product protection plan, or you could get tech services to help you set up that laptop. Or if you bought some shelving for your office through a partner, you could have that shelving assembled and installed in your office. So those are some ways that we took the fundamental needs of organizations, the feedback we heard, and then brought them to life in the Walmart Business offering.
Yeah, and I think you've given a couple great examples there, and given a real insight into what you're doing to improve the experience for those local business shoppers. One of the things I wanted to follow up on in terms of the convenience end is the Walmart Business app, and it's really connecting these different shopping experiences for your B2B buyers. Tell us a little bit about the role of the app in kind of executing upon some of the things that you just talked about. It's really, a useful tool for the shopper.
Well, one thing we definitely know about small business owners is that they are on the go, that they are passionate about their businesses, and that they are managing from wherever they are. And so we wanted, with launching the Walmart Business app, which followed our dedicated Walmart Business website experience, was to be able to offer that convenience, that on the go accessibility to the organizational users and these small business owners. So the app is a convenient and flexible way to order, to place orders, to manage your account, and also to do other things like one-tap check-in for curbside pickup. So if you placed an order, you've selected pickup, you can tap and you're checked in. And so that wait time when you arrive at the store to receive your order can be as short as possible. And that saves time and is very convenient for the organization. You can also in the app select direct to office delivery scheduling, any of our fulfillment methods. So that's important. The other thing that we felt very strongly about was enabling Walmart Pay within the app. And so that allows anybody who's part of the organizational account to access a shared payment method and pay with Walmart Pay in the store. So this is something we know admins and organizations really like. They can share a payment method with the users on their account without revealing all the details of that payment method. And therefore, somebody doesn't have to be grabbing petty cash. They don't have to pass around the corporate credit card when they run to the store. The convenience of the app allows everybody to pay with the desired payment method, with security, and with visibility to the spend. So that's another thing the app does. And then the last, which relates, as you said, to a really relatively recent announcement, is that we have extended through the app and Walmart Pay tax exempt status and the tax exempt purchasing. For those organizations who've enrolled in the Walmart tax exempt program, now they can both use that single enrollment to get tax exempt purchasing online with Walmart Business and then in store with Walmart Business app, again, across all the users on the account. And that matters for anybody who has tax exempt status, but especially again, back to nonprofits who are trying to, eke all the value and service they can out of the dollars they're spending.
So you've talked about the convenience, the flexibility, particularly within the app, or, in terms of fulfillment, payment, tax exempt shopper as well. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about Spark Good, which is an initiative from Walmart that is bringing together community giving programs under one umbrella. So to start, maybe Ashley, I'd love for you to give a little bit of an overview of the Spark Good initiative, so our audience can learn some more about it.
So this is something we're really, really proud of, our longstanding commitment to local organizations. Spark Good brings together all of Walmart and Sam's Club's community giving programs for local organizations under one brand. And it makes it easier not only for those organizations, but also for customers and associates to give to the causes they care most about. So this new Spark Good brand and entry point really includes programs like local grants, Roundup, which is a way for customers to give, registry, which again is a way to provide a list of items that an organization needs that customers could purchase on their behalf, as well as the opportunity for organizations to ask for space in front of our stores for events or fundraising, and a tool to support associate giving and volunteerism with the same kinds of organizations. So really under the one brand and the one entry point, we've brought this all together for local organizations. So it's much easier for them to access all the ways in which Walmart supports them and supports their communities.
And similar to some of the things that we've talked about regarding the Walmart Business platform and some of the updates and improvements you've made there, you've recently also added some enhancements to the Spark Good platform as well. Could you talk a little bit about some of what those updates were and what it will mean for users?
Yeah, there's three that I think are particularly powerful. So first is through this entry point and with a new partnership with an outside organization called Deed, we have a streamlined process for organizations to get verified and then engage with all of those charitable programs that I mentioned. So that's one. The second one is we have a new Spark Good associate platform. So for our associates across Walmart, it makes it easier for them to have visibility to volunteering opportunities and easier for those local organizations to, in fact, post the same and make associates aware of them. So we can make that match, really, that matchmaking between organizations who have needs for volunteers and our associates in those communities who would like to contribute to those same kinds of efforts. And then the third is we have a new Spark Good local grant application. And this is really a more user-friendly experience for organizations that are applying for what we call local funding. So Walmart stores, Sam's Clubs, distribution centers have some budget in order to support local organizations and causes. This is the grant application that really streamlines the ability for people to access that, for organizations to access that.
Can you talk about how the end kind of beneficiary here, the nonprofit, the local organization, what these enhancements will mean for them and for the experience of the Spark Good user?
I think it's really the consolidation and the streamlining. So they always knew, and many of them probably took advantage of multiple programs from Walmart, but they had to navigate multiple points of entry, different verification systems, different applications. And we've brought that all together in one place so that their relationship with Walmart's charitable activities is all consolidated, streamlined, and available through this single Spark Good entry point. I think that saving time, saving hassle, being able to be confident that they have visibility to all of the opportunities and all the activities is what will really resonate for local organizations.
And then, Ashley, could you talk a little bit about the role community and customer feedback? Obviously, to your point, I believe 90% of the US population is within 10 miles of a Walmart store. You mentioned that. So you have this constant massive amount of conversations and data that you're collecting from your customers. How has their kind of input impacted the recent changes that you've made both to your Walmart business unit as well as to Spark Good? Because you want to act upon what you're hearing from your shoppers. Tell us a little bit about kind of that feedback loop and how that impacts decision making at Walmart Business and Spark Good.
We started in the early days of even ideating or thinking about Walmart Business. We started with the customer, and I started, and people who joined my leadership team, with going out and talking to businesses, right? And nonprofits, local organizations. And I did it, and my leadership team did it. And it might be a family or a friend who owned or worked in that kind of organization. We were then asking for friends of friends and any place that you frequented locally in your day-to-day activities. Those are all the kinds of people we went out and had those meaningful conversations with. We also did, and we continue to do that in terms of user testing. We also did and continue to do, I would say, scaled research where we're talking to hundreds or thousands of people to have really statistically significant information about the needs of different types of organizations. So that has been there from the very beginning. We're really open to that feedback, and we make enhancements and updates based on that. So let me give you a couple examples from a Walmart business perspective. We started with a very curated assortment, really trying to maybe more accent on how do we save people time in terms of finding the item that they need. And we succeeded in doing that. People appreciated the way in which we had organized our website and the shopping experience they had. But we also heard pretty quickly that there was a larger assortment that they also wanted to access if they were coming to Walmart. They valued that we could be a one-stop shop. So they wanted more breadth and depth in our assortment. So we began rapidly expanding that assortment. And one of the really important ways we did that was by bringing Walmart Marketplace onto Walmart Business. And so this is really a win-win. We were able to increase assortment an assortment that might be pretty specific to a given industry or subsegment of our customers. And we were able to do that by all at the same time creating the opportunity for small and medium-sized businesses who are sellers in Walmart Marketplace to have more opportunity to sell their goods. So it's really this opportunity for small and medium-sized organizations to buy from small and medium-sized organizations. So that was really one that we really felt strongly about and ramped quickly. And so whether it's making shopping easier and more affordable or supporting local organizations with grants and connecting them to new supporters, like our goal is to continue to innovate across the organization and make purchasing, fundraising, volunteering easier for the organizations that we serve.
Well, that's a great overview of all the exciting new things that you've launched at Walmart Business and Spark Good, what you have to come in the future, and how you're really benefiting those communities that you serve at Walmart. So I want to take the opportunity to thank Ashley Hubka, again, who is the Senior Vice President and General Manager of Walmart Business, for joining us on this episode of Total Retail Talks. Thank you, Ashley. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Joe, I appreciated your time today. Great questions, great dialogue. And if your listeners and organizations are interested in learning more about Walmart Business, they can do that at business.walmart.com. And equally, if they're interested in learning more about Spark Good, that single point of entry is at walmart.com/nonprofit. So I hope that some folks will find it of value to them. And really thank you again for having me on today.
Yeah, no, I echo your thoughts. Make sure to check out those different sites and learn how Walmart Business and Spark Good may be of benefit to our audience. Thank you, Ashley.
Thanks again.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.
Are you struggling with marketing reporting? Join Barilla, Carter's, and IKEA in improving your marketing reporting by using Adverity. Book a demo today at adverity.com.